NBC's coverage of the Ford 400 is brought to you by Ford and the next F-150, the only truck tough enough to be the official truck of NASCAR. By Haviland, a Chevron Texaco product. By the Home Depot, NASCAR's home improvement warehouse. And by Viagra. Ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you.
NBC Sports live at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, where the cars are rolling out onto the track. We saw BP in the Winston Victory Lap salute last week at Rockingham, and in Winston's final race as NASCAR's series sponsor in 33 years of backing, it's the King, Richard Petty, that's the honoree today.
With 7 NASCAR championships to his credit, 200 wins. 7
Daytona 500 victories, and the man who basically created the mold of what was expected of today's NASCAR drivers. That people talk about this being a fan-friendly sport so much, it's because Richard Petty set that standard many years ago and for many years.
He has signed, I don't know how many million autographs, because if you want one, all you got to do is ask him.
King will be joining us in the booth a little bit later on. We'll talk with Richard Petty after we get the race underway. Let's talk about the Bud Pole Award now. Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR, proud to sponsor that award given to the fastest qualifier at each Winston Cup race. Jamie McMurray, first career Bud Pole Award, one of 15 different pole winners this season. Since 1979, Anheuser-Busch has awarded more than $8 million as title sponsor of NASCAR's Pole Award program. And a look at the starting lineup for today's Ford 400. Jamie McMurray with Bobby Labonte alongside him on the front row. Bobby looking for his first win here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. He's come close a couple of times. Row number 2, Brian Vickers won the NASCAR Busch Series Championship yesterday, and this season's leading winner, Ryan Newman, looking for his 9th victory of 2003. Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick, pair of Chevrolets, back in row number 3. Gordon, of course, 3 victories this season. Harvick, the Brickyard 400 winner. Kurt Busch, the defending winner of the Ford 400, starts back at row number 4. Kurt joining BP and I yesterday while Wally raced. He did a great job for us. Joe Nemechek in the Army car there with him in row 4. Jeremy Mayfield, several strong runs here in the closing stretch of the season, and Jimmy Johnson there in row 5 in that tight fight for second in the final championship standings. Rusty Wallace, his 625th consecutive start, and Larry Foyt, a best ever Winston Cup qualifying effort, row number 6 for Larry Foyt. Talked about Richard Petty. Tony Stewart is the other Winston Victory Lap honoree. He's going to start in row 7 while we look at the rest of the lineup. Let's have a chat with him.
Tony Stewart, Benny Parsons, you got me?
Hey, Ben, I got you loud and clear, bud.
How is that riding alongside the King, Richard Petty?
I was just telling the guys on the radio here, I pulled up beside him, and that man's a grinning from ear to ear, so I never got the pleasure of, or the privilege of racing with King Richard here, but it's a very, very great honor to be able to run this victory lap next to him.
Tony, you had a lot of success here at the old Homestead racetrack. How do you like the newly configured speedway?
I'll tell you what, the people that did their homework on this, did the design work, and the people that actually did all the work of laying it out and getting it all paved, they did an awesome job. I think the race fans are going to enjoy the race today. The last 2 races here this weekend, the Busch race and the truck race, were awesome, and in practice we were able to pass. So for a new layout that's got fresh pavement, you don't normally see the passing that you're going to see today. So I think they did a great job with it. It's an awesome facility now.
And your car is good?
I was pretty happy with this Home Depot Monte Carlo yesterday, so hopefully we can get her to the front here today, get right where we're at right this second here. But if we can do that, stay up here all day, we're going to be pretty happy finishing the season off this way.
Well, congratulations on your championship last year, and good luck today, Tony.
Thank you, bud.
Tony Stewart, the other Winston Victory Lap honoree today here in the season finale at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Tony going to take the green flag in the 13th starting position today. Kenny Wallace got the final provisional spot in the field. Drivers that failed to qualify. 48 drivers here to try for 43 starting spots, and there was not much margin for error if you wanted to make this field. Just 0.8 of a second from 1st to 36th on time. Let's get some final stories from pit road before we cut them loose under the green flag. Matt Yocum, you're up.
Alan Bobby Labonte enters the season failing 8th in points. He can definitely move down, but he can't move up. He starts second. I spoke to crew chief Michael Fabak from Sweeney. Said on a scale of 1 to 10, we're about a 9.75. Bobby, a little more conservative with an 8. pulling many in the garage. They say the car is closer to a 10. To Marty Snyder.
Matt Kurt Busch starts 7th, and believe it or not, last race of the season, he has a brand new race car, but it has a 2004 body on it for the most part, except for the nose and the tail. They squeezed as many new pieces of the body as they could on this 97 car. The result, kind of struggled with the car this weekend, and it's been tight every practice they've had. Lots of changes this morning, and by the way, Kurt bought a brand new race car to this race last year and won. Dave?
Marty, today's the last chance for a lot of very successful NASCAR drivers to get their only win of 2003. Rusty Wallace is one of them. His last win, April of 2001. Mark Martin hasn't won since the spring of last year. His teammate, Jeff Burton, he hasn't won since Phoenix 2 years ago. If the 40 car of Sterling Marlin doesn't win today, it will have been 60 races since his last win. And Ricky Rudd, well, he won last year at Sonoma, but he hasn't won on an oval since September of 2001. Let's see if a veteran can win at the new Homestead Speedway. Bill?
Dave, when Matt Kenseth first sat in a Robbie Reiser Busch car in the spring of 1997, Robbie leaned in the window and said, please, when you race it next week, don't wreck it. It's the only one I've got. Matt told me their agreement was to try the relationship for 4 weeks and see how it worked out. That was 6 years and 1 Winston Cup championship ago. Oh, those changes in latitude, changes in attitude, Alan.
That's what, 3?
Well, if you're counting.
I am. Very nice. Thank you, Mr. Weber. Matt Kenseth going to come from the back and try and end his championship season with a trip to victory lane. Some firsts and some lasts here at Homestead-Miami Speedway today. Last race for Winston as the NASCAR Winston Cup Series sponsor. 33 years. They've poured more than $100 million into the sport, and that's just in postseason prize money alone. That doesn't count the things like the Winston Noble Millions they did and the Winston itself. A last for Pontiac today. As the brand ends its factory-supported racing, yeah, teams could race a Pontiac beyond this year, but not likely without the factory sponsorship and a long and successful history for Pontiac in this sport as well. BP, they've got something like 100, well, I know exactly, they've got 154 NASCAR Winston Cup wins to their credit.
And most of these teams next year will switch from the Pontiac to the Chevrolet. The only difference in the equipment being the sheet metal.
And the new racetrack here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. $10 million started construction in May, raising the banking from the much maligned 6-degree flat track to the progressively banked 18, 19, and 20-degree speedways. You've heard the drivers rave about the new configuration, and now we get the chance to get the proof as you see 400 miles of racing on this now very fast 1.5-mile layout. How fast is it, you ask? The pole speed was 24 miles an hour faster Friday than the track record was before.
It's a great speedway. The team just love it. There's the flagman for today.
Serena Williams, Grand Slam tennis champion, getting set to set the field of 43 loose in the season finale for 2003.
The racetrack lost a bunch of spots right there.
Looks like he might have got loose going down to turn 1, and Vickers is challenging for the lead.
Yesterday won the NASCAR Busch Series Championship. He's trying to lead lap 1 here in the Ford 400. Jeff Gordon to the inside of Ryan Newman. Ooh, big wiggle there. Kevin Harvick.
Boy, Jamie McMurray getting the wall there.
Came awfully close, and Vickers will lead the first lap.
I believe McMurray may attack the wall there just a little bit. Ooh, 3 abreast here. Not good.
Kurt Busch under Jeff Gordon to try and get second.
McMurray is falling back, Wally, like he might have brushed the wall.
Jeremy Mayfield underneath McMurray. Wow, look at Mayfield's car slide up off the bottom, rather. Here comes Rusty Wallace in the 2.
Harvick in 29, 3 wide. He'll go down the corner 2 wide.
They just told us the story of the veteran drivers that have been over so far.
And Harvick, did you see that through the middle?
Threading the needle there.
That was so cool.
That gets a yikes, doesn't it?
And that's what's great about the track right now, guys. There's so much grip in this racetrack from top of the racetrack to the bottom that you can get away doing that. There's a lot of cars running very high right now. We kind of saw 2.5 grooves yesterday in the Busch race, but as high as some of these cars are running, we may have 3 grooves here.
3 wide. Here comes Kevin Harvick under Ryan Newman and Kurt Busch. Oh, look out, trouble in the wall. Kurt Busch and Newman.
And the 29 car, Kevin Harvick, broke loose there.
Ryan Newman looks like his day is over. A lot of damage to that car.
Newman, one of those drivers in that fight for second in the championship.
That was Harvick, yeah.
Yep. That was Kevin Harvick.
And you can see the 29 car just snapped there a little bit, and when he went up the racetrack to catch it, unfortunately, he had 2 guys next to him.
Now, Kurt Busch is 10th in the championship coming into this race, and he was only, what, 56 points ahead of Terry Labonte for 11th, so that could cost Kurt Busch an on-stage appearance at the awards night. Everybody, I talked to his crew chief, Jimmy Fennig, this morning. He said, all we want to do today is race the 5 and the 99. We want to finish 10th.
Let's take a look at this again. You see the 29 car down the bottom. He gets a really good run, and he gets loose right here. He goes up to save it, but unfortunately, you got 2 guys running next to you. There's no place to go.
I tell you, that 12 car, Ryan Newman, hit that outside retaining wall awfully hard, appeared to me like.
Did you pick a number on who that was that went down through the grass to miss the whole thing?
It's right here, the snap. Boom. You got the same barriers in this racetrack. Great.
Man, Jeremy Mayfield.
A lot of debris.
Yeah.
A lot of debris on that racetrack. A lot of guys are asking about their tires right now, believe me.
Kurt Busch. Just in the wrong place.
Yeah. And see all that debris flying? Now, all these guys are concerned about that because they had to run through all that.
Mayfield and Harvick through the grass to avoid Kurt Busch's car coming back across the track.
Just listen to this as we go on board Kurt Busch. Listen to this. That's adding insult to injury, hitting the inside wall.
Okay, I'm all right. Will the car start? And you see on the right-hand side of that last picture, the safer barrier here in place at Homestead. They added the barrier. There it is on the right. You see the space between the former retaining walls. Ryan Newman, helmet off, looking at the damage to his car. Helping with the repair. Bobby Labonte's on pit road. He started second, Matt.
Trouble for both Gibbs cars, Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart on pit road, fixing the front valence. Bobby came down. He thought he ran through some of the debris. He did peel back a little bit, that front valence. The same problem for his teammate, Tony Stewart. You can see the crew guys working on that front valence. Michael Fatback McSwain talking to his guys about what still needs to be fixed on that 18. He pulls away. His teammate, Stewart, still on pit road.
So under caution early in the Ford 400 on the 5th lap of the race. Trouble in turn 2 and a hard crash for Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman after Kevin Harvick went 3 wide underneath them and his car broke loose on him.